Hello, me hearties. A very good evening to you. It's just me, Scottie McClue, and I thought I'd pop up just to say hi to every single one of you. Welcome, welcome, welcome. You're watching the Scottie McClue YouTube channel, and we are live big style. Now, I had to pop up tonight because quite a lot to talk about, and I also wanted to congratulate President Trump on his election to the presidency of the United States of America. And I thought that you would all want to do the same because, as far as I can see, it's dancing in the street time. And I was a little bit surprised. Well, no, not surprised, a little bit shocked actually at the way the British media sort of greeted the Donald's return to the White House. I thought they were going on about, oh dear, yes, and interviewing people that were from the other side, from the lady, what was her name? Kamala. And, they concentrated on that a lot. I would have thought they should have tried to get an interview with Donald himself and join in the celebrations. Because if the media, the terrestrial media, doesn't actually sort itself out in America and in the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland, if they don't start going with the flow, I think they'll find they'll get left behind. So there you are, and it'll be up to people like my good self to pop up and tell you what's happening in the world and how it's shaping up. So there we are. So Scottie McClue, the one for you. You can get all your news, your views, your chit chat, and I'm going to open the phone lines tonight as well for you. So if you want to give us a call, you can give us a call on 0141 628 9795. I'll hold that up for you. 0141 628 9795. That's it there, right? You can subscribe to the channel 0141 628 9795. Sorry, it's just scribbled down, but it does the business. Remember, of course, keep it nice and pleasant. No second names of people, no knocking people down, all that kind of idea. And I do have my cards ready. I've got the yellow card, if you can see that, if somebody was getting a bit close. And of course, we can turn it around and we've got the red card. Can you see that? There's the red card there. If somebody was actually out of line, we had to just say bye to them. Bye. But you should be behaving. And of course, there's lots of new movies up on the channel for you, beautiful movies. One I put up yesterday, and everybody is just over the moon about it. Said, we haven't seen this for years, Scottie. And you're so polite, the lot of you. We get the odd silly person, but in general, and that's a very odd silly person, in general, people on this YouTube channel are beautiful people. And we like that. There's Roy Michael. Good evening from Derbyshire, Mr. McClue. I would love to read your autobiography. You look like you've had a very interesting life. Well, it has been very interesting. I didn't think of it as sort of autobiographical stuff, but the rest of the world seems to see it as that. I mean, I'm known to 2 billion people, Roy Michael. There's a quarter of the world's population have heard of Scottie McClue and watched me on the telly or listened to the radio phone-ins or something of that nature. But I've been very, very fortunate and very, very blessed. I've met a lot of lovely people, and I've only met one bad man, one wee bad guy who I thought would be all right, and he went off with a load of money in a business set up. So that was bad news, but that's just one tiny, tiny drop in an ocean of joy over the last 40 years or so. No, it's been very exciting. And I think, Roy Michael, I might, when I fully retire, I might jot down my autobiography and well, maybe not mention the bad guy because he's not worthy of a mention. And that would be that. And then the rest of it, I shall explain all the wonderful people I got to meet and work with. Very, very senior people. And, they trusted me. I trusted them. And I think that's the problem. When you're used to trusting people, you can sometimes just trust one too far. You know, because you'll hear business people say, "Oh no, don't trust anybody," you know, that sort of thing. But I've been very lucky. I have had a lot of trust put in me, and I have put a lot of trust in others. And it's amazing how it works. It's been perfect, I would say, as near to perfection as one can have in one's career. Now, I want to know, can you hear me and see me tonight? Because we bought some new equipment, courtesy of your good selves. You've been very generous. You'll see this channel's not monetized. And you'll think, well, why do you do it? I do it because it brings so much pleasure to others. And I do it because the movies are so popular, because I choose them. Do you see that difference? So it's my choice of movie that you're getting. Some very, very, very popular, some slightly more obscure, some of them really rather old movies, but in the days when it was a real art form, cinema was a real art form, and they're well worthy of a watch, I can tell you. So you'll get that as well, which is amazing, on the YouTube channel. Tell 10 to tell 10 to tell 10 that we're here. Leslie says, good evening from southern Spain. Oh, Leslie, bless you, from southern Spain. I hope things are okay where you are. So sorry for what's been happening to the beautiful people of Valencia, I say, and we send out love. Loud and clear, Scottie. Murray, you are such an exceptional man. Do you know, Murray, right now, please don't take this the wrong way, but it brings me huge joy to even know that you're watching. It really does, because I know I've got a real top man watching. And see what we were saying about trust there, Murray. You are somebody I would trust, and that is lovely. And you've been so kind to me and so generous to the program in my endeavors to get this YouTube channel up and running, because it's actually no mean feat. There is so much media about these days. And Murray, you'll understand, I've been appalled at the behavior of not just the media in America, but the media here in the United Kingdom about this kind of devil may care, lukewarm attitude they have to Donald Trump. I mean, this man is an exceptional human being, exceptional. And they've tried everything. They've tried shooting him. They've tried making him out to be a baddie. You know, they've tried charging him. They've tried all sorts of things. And when you look at it, because the problem is the judiciary in America has become politicized. That's why we, in a way, came out of Europe, because the problem was we begged on bended knee to get into Europe. And Winston Churchill was actually the original architect of Europe. And we begged on bended knee to get ourselves into Europe. We're told no by Charles de Gaulle, which was very rude of him, because Britain had been very kind to France in the Second World War. Churchill had been very good to Charles de Gaulle. They were actually good friends. But he said no to joining the European community, the common market, as it was called in these days. And it was an economic setup. Now, Churchill had passed away before we made these overtures to Europe, but he, in 1946, was actually the original architect of Europe. So there you are. So it was surprising that they wanted to come out of Europe. But in actual fact, we did, because it's become heavily, heavily politicized rather than a seat at the big economic table. And if you watch companies that go down the Swanee, it's because they've taken their eye off the economic ball and put it on to the political with a small p ball. And boards start falling out and wanting rid of this and wanting rid of that. And you've got to say, well, just think, what would you be getting rid of? You know, sometimes when you've got very successful owners that have built up a very successful business, then the crowd in the board want the owner out. Ah, no, he's living in the past. And oh, anyway, one of the movies I've uploaded is The Shipbuilders, based on the novel by the Greenock author George Blake, the Shipbuilders, and you'll see it in the movies, black and white, of course, made in, I think, was it 1943 that they actually made the movie, but the novel was 1935. And it's all about the shipyards on the Clyde, and it has a remarkable resemblance. It's a fictional shipyard. It's called Pagans, but I can see what it's based on. And the shipbuilders, the owners of the yards, they were remarkable in their kindness. They were great benefactors of the area. They didn't have the kind of greed that's come into fashion now in business. Give me this, give me that, give me the next thing. Pressure of greed, pressure of finance. I mean, there's always been financial pressure on any business, but at the moment, politically in this country, we're making it tougher and tougher and tougher. And as you know, I'm no politician. I'm apolitical. I don't come down in favor of one or the other, but I do think that Donald Trump is a remarkable man. And I think he could well put the world back on track. I don't think that's too big a claim. And I would like to see our media start reflecting the truth about this man. The evidence is there. How ignorant is it to try and pretend that you're not pro the winning side? You know, strange stuff. Anyway, there we go. So that's that. Loud and clear. Do you have a favourite call of all time from your radio days? Oh, David, I have so many favourite calls. I think really Mr. Martin, call 1 and call 2. Susie, call 1 and call 2. But I mean, I took, hundreds of thousands over 32 years of telephone calls. And I've got some real humdingers. Roy Michael, much respect to Mr. McClue. Can't wait to read your life story when you retire. It will be a real page turner. Well, I will make it as good a page turner as I can. You'll see my attempt at writing. If you go onto YouTube and put in Scottie McClue delivers from evil, then you'll see the start of a crime thriller. I tell you, Josmo, Dinky-Doo, hi, says Josmo. We love that. There's the wonderful Gordon Roddick. Hi, Scottie. I know you have met many interesting people during your broadcasting career. I'm so glad we were colleagues at STV many years ago. Now, Gordon, you are an absolute top man, and you're a man that never blows his own trumpet, but you are one of the most interesting people I've ever met, and it was my privilege to work with you and to learn from you. So there you are. So now you know, you have it straight. So there you go. And it was just wonderful on a day-to-day basis to work with day-to-day basis. Pardon me, still a wee touch of the lurgy. To work with so many interesting people. And what was lovely about ITV, you never knew who was coming in for the programs, and the BBC. And what I loved about the BBC in particular was when I went in there, you know that your big stars, going, hi, so-and-so, they tell them at the desk, oh, yes, Mr. So-and-so, if you wouldn't mind just having a seat just now, somebody will come down and see you. When I went into the BBC, all the reception staff, the security staff, everybody, laughter within about 10 seconds. So I went into the door and you'd have the top reception. Oh, here he is. Oh, here he is. And then we started on each other and it was lovely, just lovely. And I can remember sitting in this great hall waiting for some bigwig to come down and take me upstairs. and I could hear Dinky-Doo, and it was somebody in a cupboard. One of the security guys, one of the cleaners, Dinky-Doo, and the laughter. And I thank God for that. That was wonderful. Murray watched an old play for today on BBC iPlayer recently by Peter McDougall from Greenock, Just Another Saturday. Have you seen it? Murray, many times I remember Big Peter. He had a great big sort of moustache, and some of his writing is just quite exceptional. I mean, I've actually got DVDs of his work. And what was the other one? So yours was Just Another Saturday. Was there not Just a Boys Game? That one as well. Fantastic. And what have you now? Yes, there was one. Billy Connolly was in one of them. Was that not right? It was about orange walks and things like that. But yes, I saw Just Another Saturday. My goodness me, I tell you. Hello, Scottie. Well, Just Another Saturday, was that the one? Have I got that right? Hello, Scottie. What have I missed? Numpty Heed. You've missed the most fantastic. And when I say fantastic, I mean fantastic 20 minutes of quality chit chat. But it's so lovely that you're here. You're here. I just popped up to congratulate Donald Trump on his amazing victory and to say to the people of the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland, rejoice, dance in the streets for Big Donald. You know, because it could have saved the world. So there you go. And I know his opponent's been around for some time and everything, but my goodness, there's just no comparison. You know what I mean? Everyone should now get behind Donald, get behind the winner, and start to make America great, start to make the UK great, because there could be great deals coming up. I saw tonight that the First Minister, I think it was, said he had concerns about, the whiskey industry and tariffs and things like that on one of the social media platforms. And I just sent back, have a conversation, because I can remember talking to a very, very top business person, and it was presenting with quite a challenge. It was to seek big funding for a radio setup. And I said to him, do you think that's doable? Is it possible? And he turned to me and he said, well, that's a conversation. And that really opened my eyes. It really stuck with me how great things happen in the world. Not always, sticking on money. The trail is the money. If you want to find out what's going on, you would follow the trail of the money, whether money is disappearing or whether it's coming in or whatever. But a conversation to make things happen. We love that. Hello, hello. So, Numpty Heed, in answer to your question, it's just lovely that you're here. And I want people to go on and check out the movies as well. Everybody get sharing and get subscribing. Very, very important. Get subscribing as well. Now, have we time for a general sup? General sup? General sup? Has everybody had a sup? Because most people have something to drink, something to toast the new year with. A glass of water, a wee sherry, a hot chocolate, a malted milk drink, a cup of tea, a glass of wine, a small bottle of beer, especially if there's the football on with the guys. Now, what do we got? Edinburgh was a nightmare with all the fireworks last night. Now, Numpty Heed, I think you should give me a call and we discuss this, because you very kindly rang on Saturday night and you said you had concerns about it. Now, you've got the proof of the pudding. What's actually happened is there have been riots. So I'm thinking, should we make last night the last bonfire night? And if anybody lights a bonfire from now on, then it becomes an offense, or they have to have a license for it. Yeah? So if anybody lights them on fire, the police can turn up, the fire brigade turn up, extinguish it, and the people are taken in for questioning. Now, I'm not wanting to turn the country into a police state, but we can't have this behavior. And there's obviously a sort of type of young person that doesn't quite understand how the law works. You know, so I think we should be having a look at that. So they are up to it. So if you want to give me a call, 0141628 9795, you know the number, Numpteed. You're a founder member of Scottie McClue's phone in. You go right back to, it's coming up to December. That will be 30 years on the 12th of December. So about another 4 weeks, 4.5 weeks, and that will be 30 years since Scottie McClue was let loose on Scotland just for you. Dinky-Doo. I tell you. There we are. So you can do that numpty heat, you know. It won't do you any harm. Unless you and Dino have had a light refreshment. You think, oh, I can't hear English now, Scotty. I've got to go to the shops. That's your big one, isn't it? I've got to go to the shops. And numpty, I've got the cards ready. We've got the yellow card, if there was a problem. And we've got the red card, if there was a problem. All right. So we can tell 10 to tell 10 to tell 10 that Scottie McClue is live just for you on the YouTube channel. I tell you. What was it? Was it the actual zones that were the problem, numpty? James, if the youths involved last night get caught, they will get substantial sentences. Well, James, there's every chance they'll get caught. They're all counted with the helicopters. The police helicopters can see them with their thermal imaging equipment. See what I just did there? So, you know, there's every chance that they will be able to know the numbers, have an idea what they look like, the shapes, etc. And then there will be cameras on the ground all over the place, you know, cameras at zebra crossings and all kinds of stuff that they could get images from. And that's how they caught the people during the riots last year. You know, because you can zoom right in. If you can have a massive football crowd, say, you can zoom in on that and the faces become clear as a bell. The digital equipment is so good. And I think that young people of all people should know how good the latest tech is, but they don't seem to realize. And then I think they also don't understand, because they might just be the next generation, you know, in their crowd, the next generation of crims in a family. So it means, you know, it doesn't have the same impact. You see, that's that wee soul in now. He's only 18 and he's in the slammer, and mind you, his dad's in the slammer and his uncle's in the slammer. I think his granddad's still in as well. All that sort of stuff. What kind of future is that for these people? What kind of life? 3 square meals a day and a roof under your feet, it used to be with the Nick. What's the history of the Dinky-Doo phrase? Oh, David. Dinky-Doo, I've always said, I remember going to a station and I noticed that the previous presenter used to greet people with "how do," "how do," and I thought, well, you can't use the same phrase, and that was a kind of North of England phrase, "how do," you know, how are you doing? That's an idea, but I realized that Dinky-Doo was a wonderful one, and We just struck up with Dinky-Doo. When people say, what does it mean? I say it means is all well with you and the rest of the world. I tell you. So that's that. So Dinky-Doo has been around since the very start of the phone-in. And it used to be if a caller didn't say Dinky-Doo, they didn't get on. And we had a guy, a sort of passive-aggressive character that you see them a lot on social media. You know, they pretend that they're meaning well and that, and they're just putting in things. I've noticed with the movies, the bulk of people, 99% of the people appreciate the movies. And either appreciate them in silence, or they'll leave you a little comment and say, thank you so much for uploading this movie. I have thoroughly enjoyed it. Or it's moved me to tears, or whatever. And then you'll get the passive-aggressive one. Oh, what a pity it doesn't have this. And you think, look, this is a free movie on Scottie McClue's YouTube channel. Doesn't cost you a thing. It's been chosen by Scottie McClue. Anything up to 500,000 people have watched it and been very, very happy with it. And you're on What a Pity. So there is a breed of character that wants to have something other than what they've got. Now, when I was a kid, if somebody gave you a present, whether it was a toy car, a skipping rope, a shilling, 5p, said, here, that's for you. You thanked them profusely. Thanks very much, Uncle John. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, you're welcome, son. No bother. Thank you. Can I go? Ma'am, can I go and get some sweets? Yes, you can. You know, get something for your sister as well. John, that's awfully kind of you. Ah, the wee fella needs a sweet, you know, and all that kind of idea. Yeah, gave you a wee pat in the head, that sort of thing. Wonderful. You didn't turn round and say, 5p, you know, get 10p. You know, and it's that kind of malcontent that we've got in our society. Don't ask me how we've bred them. The malcontents that, oh, what a shame. Oh, what a pity. Oh, this black and white movie would have been better in color. Oh, see that gun that sailor's holding? That's not right for this movie. Give over. If you don't want it, go away. I even had one that said, the quality's not good. I think I could get better somewhere else. You think, well, go and get better somewhere else. But why comment? 500,000 people have loved it. What is wrong with you? That's the thing, you know what I'm saying? So that's what you get. Class. Did you like that, David? Dinky-Doo. A guy asked me one night, he said, Scottie, what's Dinky-Doo? I said, it's Roman. It goes back to the Emperor Zero. I said, and when the Romans were leaving Britain to go back to Italy via Londinium, when they were going away from Britannica via Londinium, and no doubt over to Canterbury and Kent, and get their boats back across the channel. Because in those days, with the Romans and that, people went away from Britain across the channel after they found there was nothing here for them. And I think if we didn't overindulge the people that are coming into this country illegally, if we didn't indulge them at all, they'd probably go back pretty soon. Because say you were in a camp in France, which is regarded as a safe, humane country, and you thought, I'm going to escape from this camp and go across the channel, and you just ended up in another camp, and they said, just to let you know, Lala, you'll be going back at the weekend to the camp in France. You know, that sort of thing. I think you might see a wee change in attitude, don't you? I tell you. So I said, the Romans, they were all leaving. They were going to march back to Rome, to Italia, and one or two, I think, stayed and did some, maybe a fish and chip shop or something like that, you know. But they were going back to Italia, and the Emperor Zero at Hadrian's Wall put his hand up, silenced them all. Silencio, silencio. And he said, "Dinky-Doo, everybody." And all the Romans replied with, "Dinky-Doo, 0." Right? Now, I told this guy that night, you see, I said, that's, I said, "Anyway, the soul." He took me at face value. He comes on the next night. He said, "I know quite a bit about Roman history." He said, "And I just did a bit of research last night, Scotty, and I could not find the Emperor Zero." If Auntie Nancy gave me a sixpence, she'd have wanted a tenner change, says James. See, Scotland has got so many wonderful phrases. And one I love is, "Oh, her, she wouldn't sell her hen on a wet day." Right? That's one of them. She wouldn't sell her hen on a wet day, I'll tell you. And of course, you think about it. Rain comes down, hen gets wet, looks wee and thin and showpit. You don't get the money for it. Sunny day, hen all fluffed out, big feathers, lovely hen there, looking for £1. Yeah, that's of idea. Another one, "Oh, him, he wouldn't swap you a thick for a thin." So in other words, you said, "I've got a thick penny. Do you want it?" No. Same value. It's a penny. Doesn't matter. You wouldn't swap your thick for a thin. "What part of Scotland are you in?" says Leslie. "I'm in the west of Scotland, Leslie. West of Scotland, not terribly far from the city of Glasgow, I tell you." So there we are. Now, how are we getting on? Guys, have you all subscribed? Everybody watching on the channel, can you go down to the bottom left and you'll see a little thumbs up? It looks like that. I don't know if it's that way or that way. Sorry, I've got my cuffs. I was doing the dishes before I came on. My cuffs are not back down. Woo. Yeah, so you go down to the bottom. I think it's the bottom left, and you'll see a thumbs up. And if you can just give me a wee thumbs up there, that would be fantastic. Just to let us know you're watching. I'll watch and see who's doing it. So we're looking for a thumbs up. And it's either that or it's that. Not sure which. Might be that. And if you can just go down bottom left. So take your mouse or your wee finger pad and go down to the bottom. There's somebody got it. Brilliant. So if you can just go and give us a thumbs up, that'd be great. And also give us a subscribe. I'll watch, guys, for a wee second. In fact, I'll tell you what. Why don't we all have a general sup? A general sup? A general sup? No, it's not a senior officer in the army, madam. It's a general sup. S-U-P. Do you like? That's absolutely lush. I tell you, we need another couple of thumbs up. Come on, down you go. Thumbs up. And as everybody subscribed, guys, it's so important. 1.5 million people have watched this very YouTube channel in the last month. 1.5 million. But I've only got, 20,000 subscribers. Now, what's going on? Somebody tried to tell me the other day, they said, "Oh, well, you see, you've got to have a channel to subscribe, I think, or you've got to." I don't know, you don't, do you? I tell you, Slange, David. And somebody the other day spelling Slange. Do you know how to spell Slangevar? It is. And like all Gaelic, thank you for the thumbs up. We could do with 2 more. 2 more thumbs up, guys, so we can move on. Come on. Down to the bottom left. Click the wee thumbs up. And please subscribe. It doesn't cost. Absolutely free. Slange. So, of course, like all Gaelic, the spelling is nothing like it sounds. So, Slangevar is S-L-A-I-N-T-E. Slinte. M, capital M, H-A-T-H. Mahath. And that's Slangivar. Ah, Slange. Slangivar. Slangivar Maha. Kamraha Maha Hakima. Falchi Key the Millie Falchi on YouTube. I guess SCOTTIE McCLUE. Subscribers are fairly mounting up now, Scotty, almost 25k. Oh, wow, Murray. I love it, but they were slow. I mean, I've had this channel for 11 years now. Admittedly, my fault. We just used it really as a kind of repository for the SCOTTIE McCLUE videos from the various shows over the years. But I don't know that it's exciting for somebody to go and watch an hour, pardon me, of other people's names coming up. So that wasn't the most exciting thing. And then, of course, the channel got monetized, no problem at all, Scotty, no problem at all. And apart from really generous people like your good self, Murray, you know, you'd get maybe 5, 10, 15 pounds or something, 20 pounds a month. Very, very good, not complaining. And then as soon as I cracked it, I put up one of my movies one afternoon and about 80 or 90,000 people watched it. And immediately I was demonetized. And they say, because it's not within our community guidelines. I thought, oh, no, don't start that. Somebody sort of looked and thought, oh! and what have you. So what I'm going to do, Murray, with your permission, sir, is we'll leave it for now unmonetized, and then nobody can ever accuse me of making anything. You know the way, again, your grumpy people go, it's all right for you making money out of that, aren't you? No. And the movies, I don't make any money out of that either. That would go, any adverts would go to the movie people. Fine, no problem. But I've chosen the movies. So can you see where I'm coming from? And if anybody was really feeling flush or generous and thought, I like this guy, I want him to, you know, go places with this. Information, education, and entertainment. Then I think that we could go to the GoFundMe. There's a GoFundMe, and you can just go into GoFundMe and look up SCOTTIE McCLUE. And if anybody wants to put in £1, £5, if somebody's very flush, £10 million, it doesn't matter, because as you know, money is not my God. How much of a simpleton am I? I've seen it so often, Murray, you'll know what I'm talking about. I've seen multimillionaires, they work their socks off to be the big one with all the money. And then when they pass away, what have they done? You know, I mean, who have they spoken to? Who have they had time for? And quite often I've had the finger pointed. Why do you always stop and talk to folk? You're wasting your time. You could be earning a fortune. You're not a silly fellow. And I think, who said life is about earning a fortune? You know what I mean? Although that's what I love about Donald Trump. He's not anybody's puppet. He doesn't have to do what he's told by anyone. Do you know what I mean? And most politicians now, they come out with all the big talk, but somebody else is above them telling them what they've to do. And that's not a healthy system, you know what I mean? So there we are. I mean, even dear old Churchill had somebody, I won't go into detail, I wouldn't be so base, had somebody in America, funnily enough, who was sort of keeping him going and things like that. So there are no pockets in a shroud, Scotty. Absolutely, Murray. And I genuinely feel sorry for these people. I think, oh, somebody says, you know, so-and-so passed away. So he wasn't very old. And people go, no, he wasn't. He was 59. And you see, he must have left about 20 million quid. Oh. So who'll get that? Oh, well, in family, and, you know, they'll be quite well left. You know, and that's the whole thing. And when I was wee, guys, we need more thumbs up, down to the bottom, thumbs up. When I was wee, I can remember people in those days, they drank a lot more and they smoked a lot more. You know, you'd seen your industrialists and they would say, oh, Jimmy's a bottle a day, man, you know. He's below the label by 11 o'clock in the morning. Jimmy's a 60 a day, man. He's at the old plain fags, you know, that sort of idea. And then when they died, somebody would say, well, it's the old one. Do you know who died? No. You know, when you went home and your mother would greet you with, guess who's died? Where do we start? What are we talking about here, you know? And you had to go, well, it's no me, you know, from that idea. But somebody would tell you, say, do you know Jimmy so-and-so passed away, don't you? And you say, mind you, he wasn't very old, was he? Jimmy? Oh, no, Jimmy was a fair age. Jimmy would be 58, 59. My mother used to say to me, I would say to her about somebody, I would say, he must be 80, mother. Oh, rubbish. Nowhere near it. Oh, well, he might be 79-ish, yes. Do you know anybody that always tries to get you on the back foot? You come out with the truth, 100% fact. You deliver it to them and they go, I doubt that. Or, what a load of old nonsense you talk. We love it. So there are, the subscribers are coming up as well, Murray. They like the lives. Murray, I've got a confession to make. And because of your good offices, it's not been anything like as damaging as you might think. But I had a very sarcastic person one time. I said, I was looking at YouTube last night. And she said, what were you watching yourself? So I said, I haven't watched myself since 1984. Right. And that put her gas at a peep, I can tell you. She went a wee bit quiet, you know. And I watched, for the first time in a long time, one or two of the YouTubes that we've been doing the lives. And the bandwidth isn't good, and they're not easy to watch because I pixelate, you know. So we've taken steps, Murray. You'll be proud of me. And we've got the supplier to come in and put in the full bit. You know what I mean? So we're not worrying about bandwidth. So there you are. And I only noticed it, Murray, because I used to do another platform in tandem with the YouTube, pardon me. And when I switched off the other platform, because you can only do an hour, and I was still on the YouTube went clear. You know, I tell you, have you heard the expression, he was a 10-hoggy man in relation to consumption of a certain alcoholic beverage? Well, a hog is a hog, not like a barrel. You had a hog's head. Did you not have a hog's head for whiskey or for wine? And there's apparently, you've got to be careful how you say this, but there's a firkin, Firkin. And you go, could you give us a firkin, please? Somebody says, I beg your pardon. You know, that sort of idea. So there's a firkin. Now, I don't know what a firkin is in terms of size. You see, we all got thrown. This was the downside of Europe. We went metric. Now, what is wrong with having a piece of paper like this? I promise to pay the bearer on demand the sum of £1. And that £1 could be divided into 20 shillings. It could be divided into 8 half-crowns. It could be divided into 4 crowns. It could have another shilling added to it and be 21 shillings and become a guinea. It could be divided into 40 sixpences, 80 threepences, or 240 pennies. Now, what's not to like about that? LSD. Don't be getting excited. I'm just explaining. That was pounds, shillings, and pence. So you had the pound, the L, which would probably be, go back to the Roman lire, is that right? The shilling, the S, old-fashioned shilling, S for shillings, and D for denaries, pennies. Because you see, as everybody will know, the Romans were paid in salt. So you got salt money. And that's where you got the term salary, saline, salt. And somebody goes, what's that? Just saline solution. It's just salt. What do you get if you balance acid and alkali? You get salt plus water. You know? And then what is salt? Well, salt is sodium chloride, isn't it? Have I got that right? Sodium chloride? Come on, all you chemists. Hi, Scotty and everyone. I'm just missing you again. Amy, you're not missing us at all, but you have missed a fabulous show tonight. It's been outstanding. There's over 300 bottles in a hoggy. Oh, my goodness. I had an uncle called Hoggy. He's an army friend of my dad's, and he was Mr. Hogg. Yeah, and we called him Uncle Hoggy. Lovely stuff. A 10 Hoggy man in relation to consumption of a certain alcoholic beverage. So are we talking whiskey then? If you're a 10 Hoggy man, that would be 3,000 bottles. Now, Murray, I have spent some wonderful evenings with some remarkable people, but I can't think of one of them that could have consumed 3,000 bottles. James says, my granddad drove a heavy draft horse and cart, and he knew all the different firkins, hogsheads, and the like, and at the end of his shift, he got a pundy, a bit ladle of beer, because he would be absolutely roasted. I mean, these guys, they were absolutely built like that, built like barns. Wonderful, wonderful stuff. Congratulations on 22K subscribers, Scotty. Lola, thank you. That is very, very much appreciated. I know we shouldn't always want something other than we've got. I was just telling people off for that earlier, but I would love to have 25,000 subscribers. I mean, the truth is, there is absolutely no excuse for everyone with access to YouTube not to be subscribing to Scottie McClue. So we should really have, I don't know, can you subscribe just if you've got access to YouTube? So could we have, in theory, about maybe 50 million subscribers? I think that would be quite good from that point of view. But Lona, thank you. That really is appreciated. You're very, very kind. Guys, I can't believe it. We've been up for just coming up to 50 minutes. Now, I pop up for 5 minutes. And I always say to people, I'll just pop up for 5 minutes just to see how everybody's getting on. And also, tonight, of course, is a time for celebration in the world. Everybody should be dancing in the streets. And I'm giving the United Kingdom media a bit of a telling off because you haven't appeared with the right levels of joy that Mr. Trump's back in the White House. When we had him in the White House the last time, the world was just hunky-dory, dinky-doo. And then we had that awful 4 years when we just slipped within a breath of all of us going down the drain. And now the man's back and he will drain the swamp. So, there will be some very nervous, very people up there. I tell you, I watched The Shipbuilders yesterday. Thanks, great movie. Robert, The Shipbuilders is an outstanding movie. I watch all of these and I think, this would be good for my YouTube channel because I've always loved movies. This was the joy of working in television. If you're not a movie buff, you're going to have a tough time in television. But if you're working in television, you get to see the movies. And I used to light up, people say, you must be awfully tired. I mean, at one point I did 2 ITV stations a day. So I used to drive like a lunatic 100 miles in between. And it made the people that were setting up the cameras for the ITV stations a little bit anxious because hang on a minute, I think we've got the wrong output here. How? Because I saw that guy this morning. No. He does all the stations. And yes, wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. And I got to see the movies. I would look at what was on in the afternoon because I'd be promoting it to the audience. I'd be telling them. And it was the days when you didn't have shouty continuity announcers ruining the end of a movie, ruining it by shouting over the stuff. I've watched a movie and I've been sitting with a wee tear in my eye. And then some shouting guy, don't forget at 9 o'clock tonight, there's comedy. I think, oh, shut up, and learn how to do proper television continuity. You've probably just lost yourself another 10,000 viewers. So you let the credits come up and you say, well, if you enjoyed that as much as I did, you'll enjoy our movie tomorrow night at the same time. All that, people loved that. That was proper, smooth continuity. But again, you've got people that didn't know what they were doing and they started to ruin all that kind of thing. And this is why television is losing people in swathes. They're coming to, a more gentle setup like SCOTTIE McCLUE's YouTube channel. And they see their movies there, and they, oh, yeah. You could choose. But I used to love of an afternoon, I think, oh, such and such is on this afternoon. Good. I'll go to the canteen and get a cup of tea, and then I'll come and I'll watch that. Yeah, the expression could have been a 1, 2, 3 hoggy man, depending on his or her appetite for a swally. Well, Murray, you might know this. I know you're a very clean living guy, but I've learned over the years there's no such thing as wan when it's a swally. So I used to say to the missus, listen, love, I'm just going to pop with John just for one, down to the Golden Hind. And she said, okay then, but don't forget lunch is going to be ready. Oh, no, we'll not be long. And as soon as you've had one, you think, yeah, you fancy another wee... Another thing I've never understood, and this is a Scottish thing, People don't ask you out loud if you'd like a drink if you're in company. So they don't go, if you're chatting to somebody, they don't go, Scottie, would you like a drink? Can I get you a whiskey? They don't do that. They go like this. Psst. You think, what are you doing? And then they come up and say, listen, sorry about that. I saw you were talking to your missus and I didn't know if she would know if we had a nip at the bar, you know, a nip. We'll have nips at the bar. So that's a lager and a port and lemon for Gran and a pint of beer for you, the heavy beer. And yes, what would you like, love? You'd like a wee shot of tequila. Okay, that's it. Right, we'll go up and we'll get that. And then you're up, 2 whiskeys, please. And they need to take a leaf out the farmers' books. The farmers won't be able to do it at the moment because of what's just happened to them with the inheritance tax. But the farmers in this country used to be really appreciated and thanked for growing our food and all that. It wasn't politicized. And that'll come back, of course. People will get a very sharp lesson, particularly now that we have a new resident, a new resident in the White House. The farmers, you know, used to meet at the Highland Fair, beautifully shaved, beautifully dressed, all that, the big brogues on and the tweed suit. And they would go up to the bar in the tents and go, the person at the bar would say, what can I get you, sir? I'll have a bottle of malt whiskey, please, and 2 tumblers. I'm so glad Trump's back, says Lara. Absolutely. What do you think of Trump's victory, Scottie, says Lola. Lola, I could not be further over the moon. Just simply because he is a thoroughly decent human being. And he's right for the world. And they tried everything. People that go, oh, he's convicted. No. This is trying it on with a very heavily politicized judicial system, trying to get the man. Then they tried to shoot him. You know, it's just crazy. It's wonderful that he's in there. You know, why were they so keen to not have him back? All will be revealed. We need to treat our farmers better and our truckers. We do, Robert. I don't watch telly anymore. I'm not paying for my own brainwashing. I prefer YouTube, Scottie. Time watching. Come on here. We never, ever, ever would be so patronizing as to try and brainwash anyone. So it's all good, clean fun, good, clean chat, great quality. Can't go wrong. And that's what we do on here. You'll get the lives, you'll get the movies, you'll get the chit chat. So there we are. The topsail, Dalmally topsail is a sight to see. Lots of nips enjoyed there. Oh, Murray, any of them, the Royal Highland Show. I used to get invited to the Royal Highland Show. And I can remember I was there with a very senior engineer and an electronic engineer. And they had the first wind turbine. So this could be, easily 30 years ago. More, 40 years ago. And this guy was great. He wandered up to the Aberdeen Angus steak wagon. And he said, 2 roast beef sandwiches, please. And don't stint on the roast beef. And the guy made us these gorgeous big sandwiches. You could be eating it yet, kind of thing, you know. Just fantastic. Anyway, long story short, he said to the salesman of the wind turbine, may I open the cowl and have a look inside? And the salesman said, I mean, you'll be like myself. It'll not mean anything to you. And, no, it is my profession, electronics. And he's in among the wind turbine. He's going, that's interesting. I wonder why they've done that. See the company I got to keep. Oh my goodness. Guys, we are out of time. I cannot thank you enough. God bless America. God bless Donald Trump. Welcome home, Donald. Welcome back. Thank you for all your work. And huge apologies from everyone that tried to do you down. We love you. Good night. God bless. Everybody on here, same message to yourselves. I love you. Are we ready for it? Stick out your tongue and say ta-ta. Pa-pa. Dinky-Doo, one more go. Pa-pa.